G'day guys, thought I'd do a video for you today about the Adventure Kings Gazebo tent. I've set one up and just want to go through a couple of little things that I have observed with this particular tent. I'm just going to go to one of them now to do. Now what you've got to do here is run your power cords inside the actual door. Because there's no slots in these to do so, which is fine. You could use one door and actually get away with it by having it the other way and just using one door. So then for this exercise, I'm actually just doing this. Now, you're noticing it's flapping around quite a lot. One of the interesting points I want to talk about is these center pieces here. Now, what this really needs is to have this side here as a flap up here further. So in other words, it really does need two Velcro strips here and here would actually make more sense. That way you don't have this whirlwind of wind coming up inside the gazebo. So that's one part of it that I have observed. We made a little mod to observe by another YouTuber who did this, to put cable ties up and use the little clamps to get them up inside the corners that are up higher. That's another observation that we've made ourselves, which actually has made it easier to get them up into the corners. Now, getting back to this, I'm wondering whether, is there a way to make these longer? Have people done anything there to get them up into the top, right up to the top? As you can see, it's moving around quite rapidly. So I'm wondering whether that's part of the issue of having this air gap in here. Could that be part of the problem? Okay, we're inside the tent now. A couple of observations that I've made inside is they don't, of course, have a hook for a lantern. I'll just show you what I mean. That's, of course, the center of the gazebo. Now, if they don't have a lantern hook, where do you hook lights? That's one of the questions that I've certainly observed. Some of you may have a bit of a hack for this, to be able to string lights up or something. Again, about the dip that's in these in the center, if this was up further, you would actually probably stop this from rubbing. If you had it sort of alignment, if they had a stitching either side of this that actually sent this up further, but this went into sort of like a valley, would actually make more sense to be able to secure it. So all in all, they're not a bad product. A couple of issues I do have with them. They do move around quite a bit in wind. That is probably expected, not necessarily build quality, but maybe there is some issues that they need to address with them. Access to power, as I mentioned, is an issue if you're running power, if you're running in powered sites, or you want to even run batteries with power packs outside, even fridges on power packs and so forth. You might want to use one door, have that allocated for your power, and then use the other door, which you've got the option to do so. The windows in them, I like them. They're big, they're easy to pull up and down, and you can do that with inside the tent. So if it starts to rain, you can do it without going outside. I quite like that idea. The step in, being a sight impaired person, it's not very deep, so that's good. A lot of tents do come with a bit of a deep door, which means you can trip over them. So there's not really that much of a tripping hazard there for that. I'll just show that to you. Now, as you can see, there isn't much of a tripping hazard there, so that's a very good thing. I like the idea of the two doors, which means, as I say, you can use one for power and one for the entry into the tent. Another issue I did observe during the night is that it does get a bit of air and wind up under the tent itself. That's due to, I think, not having peg points in the tent itself. It's got peg points and everything for the gazebo, but I think it needs ground anchor points on the tent itself. Would actually secure it better, having them maybe inside the corners and also maybe in the sides of them. 3 meter span with basically nothing holding it down at the bottom is probably where the issue is. It's actually drawing in a lot of wind from the sides and causing a few problems. I know this video was a bit rough and ready, but certainly my observations about the Adventure Kings gazebo tent. Not a bad sort of piece of kit. It does the job. And the beauty of it is you've got a gazebo. If you're having a party, you can basically just set up the gazebo without the tent. So A couple of things I wouldn't mind is maybe a ground sheet, which I wouldn't mind to have in here, as you can see there. Wouldn't mind a ground sheet in it. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe a bit of rubber matting near the door would actually suffice. It does actually mean that you can actually get in and maneuver in and around it. So just my thoughts on it. Hope you got something out of this, maybe just to give a bit of an idea of what they really are and how they do work. They're a 3x3 metre gazebo tent. You're seeing them quite a lot in various different brands. I've got the Adventure Kings version of it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you next time.